And the afternoon starts here on day one of the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 1. We have a very juicy matchup here in Pool A. Half Moon, the top seed, versus Southern Skies, who are a new team on the block, but made up of many Southern stars in the sky. This is Avril Tam, joined here by Daniel Clinton. Lots to look forward to in this game.
Indeed. I think this, I'm not sure how the seedings have been worked, but I would have thought Southern Skies would have been rated a little bit higher. Apparently not. Here we are. We're about to figure it out on the field. And it looks like Southern Skies, combination of Rogue and Sunder, amongst other teams. A bit of a mixed super team as, well, it's a common thing in Australia for a group of players to kind of have a chat at some stage at a party somewhere and kind of comment that they all want to play with each other, and then all of a sudden Mixed Nats comes around and, hey, let's have a tilt at the title together. So
yeah, core of the roster, mostly New South Wales-based players, but they have brought a few players that are generally based in Victoria, Melbourne. So it's an interesting roster. I was told that they've had a few unexpected injuries, though, so their roster a little shorter than Half Moon's. Still, I'm sure they'd like to bring their A game here against Half Moon. And it will be Southern Skies starting out in the purple kit on defense with Solomon Marowitz-McMahon on the pool.
Dr. Fungus, as he is more commonly known, doing his PhD in something to do with mycelium.
And an offside called. So Lockman will bring it slowly up to the brink mark.
Marowitz-McMahon, some great seasons with Sunder. So now in a mixed team.
Starting to feel a bit warmer than earlier this morning, Daniel.
Yeah, with all the rain, it's getting steamy. It's going to be a sweaty game, I think.
And around flick break to get things underway by Lockman. Moves it across to Valancourt. Back to Lockman. Stack very far away. Looks in hope. Maehr provides it. Big shot by Maehr, looking for Ruiz. And that goes above her head to Dr. Fungus. So Fungus with the pull, Fungus with the intercept. Patterson. Looking for Fungus again. Moves it up nicely through to Gunn. And now Carpenter involved. Patterson. He goes a bladey flick, making sure that comes back in play, but too far in front of Alex Swan.
Very ambitious there by Charles Patterson. He's hung that a long way out there. It never really came back. So turnovers, one apiece.
Lognan being asked to get a few extra Ks in the legs, collecting a pull out the back, and now a disc that's rotated all the way to the fence. Making sure he gets his step count up. Goes upfield. And that is a high shot. Just checks his feet to make sure he's in bounds, and Andrews rips a big backhand huck. Well read by the receiver in Shanwei Low. Goes behind Hamilton, and a pick called. So Marowitz-McMahon just having a chat about the stall count as they sort the pick out.
Goal being they don't want to have another pick straight away, so catch up your space.
Locknan on this close sideline. Centres a disc. Hamilton, Lachlan working together. And now Maehr strikes up line. Oh, the 1-2 doesn't work out. Mickael gets the mitts in there.
It looked clean.
Chat, yeah.
It looked clean. I thought Mickael had done an amazing job on defense there. He's known what was coming and been close enough. They're going to call it a strip.
Yeah, the goal is called now. So, I mean, definitely worth a chat. And live play early in the game. Couple of turnovers already. So, in the end, Half Moon do manage to hold that first score, although a little messy. So we have a look at this strike-up line by Maehr. And just that quick dishy back. Mickael got the mitt in there, but maybe a strip called. Some fantastic vision. Fantastic work by our camera operators here in ULTI.TV. Yeah, I think probably a strip called there in the hands and then slapped out. So well worked out, quick discussion and resolution. We have a hold to open this game.
So team list, let's talk team list. Half Moon made up of Ellipsis alumni coming together. Cat Phillips, the captain, along with Ollie Lofton, who just caught that point. I think of key note, Sam McGuckin not kitted up for this game, so potentially an injury, maybe some fatigue management happening in the second game of the tournament.
Whitlock here. Big mark by Summers. And a nice inside look. Oh, they make some good meters. It's a close shot to the ground. Whitlock working with Mace. And some hesitation there from the dump cuts. Has to go inside out to Fisher Day. Fisher Day gets up high. Oh, that one just slips over the head. McDonald there, unable to reel it in. And Lee goes a big option. That one's flat, but lands on the chest of Phillips, who goes all the way through to Bill Foreman. And Half Moon, a break score. They are up 2-0 on the Southern Skies.
I mean, Fisher Day has done an amazing job catching that. And then conservation of greatness, he's just not done the simple thing of putting his front foot on the ground and keeping that throw under control. Half Moon run it back the other way, and great rate of knots. They're going to take every opportunity that they can. I think it's hard, you know, when you're flying through the air, trying to get balance and then move the disc on quickly. I think they just needed to slow things down, understand the situation was that he'd saved the offense and he was going to have a full stall to do something with it. He didn't necessarily need to press that throw into Gus McDonald so fast.
Yeah, just a bit of rush of blood to the head, wanting to finish the point early, but very impressive by Half Moon to get things moving. That was a very impressive throw by Dotley to hit Cat Phillips on the chest with a medium range throw. Kept it low and speedy. But Southern Skies, let's see if they can. Ooh, that's a close bid by Ruiz on Carpenter. They know each other well, often playing together as teammates on Rogue, but Day leads Carpenter in space. And the continuation there, despite the bidding Weatherall, Southern Skies, they do get on the board. 1-2. So Charlotte Owens there with the score. As you see, a couple of Rogue teammates teaming up there, making short work of that offensive point, despite some heated pressure from the Half Moon defense.
It's all just open side play, tight windows. Come back to Nez Riz's defense. She is a tough character to get free on. And Carpenter did just enough to create some separation such that the offense could flow through her hands. It's an important hold there for Southern Skies as they were down a break early.
Yeah, don't want the game getting away from you in the early days. So a nice steadier there on offense. See if they can do any damage on defense as Levi Yang goes up with a pull. And that's got some good float. Allows the defenders to put pressure on the first pass. So well done by Yang there. Chen, oh, and a diving attempt. Not quite there. Half Moon moving things up quickly. Ma, Chen, Hamilton. There's a match call now. There's only half of the field left. Oh, and Ma, that quick release, just too quick for all of her receivers. And that was a real let up here. Yang, very low pivot there. Completely poached player on this side. Doesn't make use of it. Now they spot up. Mia Wang keeps her feet in. Patterson's covered. Goes to lose yards, but gains them again through Yang. Goes up to Wang. Fakes, points, tiny dump. Barely centimeters there to Yang. And a nice catch there by Carr. One-handed, gloved left hand. Yang up line. And just in bounds here. Around to Patterson. Oh, too high for Yang, and they cough the disc up. Trong goes a huck looking for Lachlan Patterson. Also in the space, the second attempt. Successful. Patterson has to scramble one-on-one versus Hamilton, but too much Paddock to defend. Hamilton makes him pay.
Huge Ollie Lofton. He is become one of the best players in the country. You see he does it both ways. He goes long off the turn. Does enough. Great body control. And then Hamilton in space just needed to keep going. Did keep going. Got the score in the end. Half Moon, they're looking much smoother in this game compared to how we saw them show up this morning. It seems like the break and the game earlier have done them some good.
Yeah, for sure. They started this game much more awake compared to their first game of the day. So well and truly properly warmed up now and ready to put some smooth moves on the board. I have to say, Patterson did very well to hold things up for that last completion. Patterson and Nicholas Whitlock from New Zealand originally. I've been playing with the Sydney-based teams for a couple of seasons now. I can see that presence of well.
He's making use of that open border agreement that we've got with New Zealand, coming over regularly and to the betterment, I think, of Australian Ultimate. It's great to have a player of his calibre come over and play regularly with us. It's always great to watch Nick Whitlock play, and he is definitely an important part of Ultimate in our closest cousins across the pond, or the patch, or the channel, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he is on cue. Works with Carpenter. Spreads the defense. Comes across to Bub. And just moving it side to side for now. Day. There's a call on field.
A pick between Nesriz and Rob Andrews.
So Carpenter acting at that as that axis handler, always available in that behind space. They finally make some work upfield through to McDonald. And that's a floating shot, comes around to Merowitz McMahon. Bub Bit of hesitation on the initial cut, but does throw it. Whitlock, so a bit of cycling now. But the players are very far away, so the defense know that they're going to attack the under. They haven't really opened up the space deep, but now they do throw deep, and Owens runs out of space. I just don't think that offensive setup was the right positioning out there for Southern Skies.
I think Gus McDonald just pushing one there. He's not... I don't think the offense was really set up for him to take that shot, as Owens is mostly clearing to that space. And so it's a turnover. And Southern Skies will have to go on defense here. Half Moon have gone with fast tempo previously. Now they're going to come out of a much more static set.
Yeah, Whitlock on Andrews. That's a juicy matchup to watch. So Owens covers Lee, who's the first option. But they move it up to Foreman. And across to Prentice. Inside look, Dotley in the space. Continue up to Andrews. Ruiz is in a paddock of space, and that is an easy score. Half Moon making it look easy as you like.
Very, very smooth offense there. You could you put a label on it and sell it, because that is silky. Very, very silky. And you saw Ruiz, I think what she's done really well there is she's identified what's happening further down the field. She's committed to the cut early. And when Rob Andrews has finally got the Frisbee, Nez is already at full pace heading to the end zone. And so Andrews just has to do the simple thing of step out, because I think that Ruiz has done all the hard work there.
I do want to say here, Prentice, she goes for this inside break. So Dotley, it's a very open continuation because the defender's only just catching up. Once you get it on the break side, it's just so damaging. The defense not set at all to protect that space. As you said, textbook play there. You're doing good. You're doing good. So Gentan with the pull. Small amount of breeze now. It's a nice pull, some good distance. Whitlock receives, works with Carpenter. Just 1-2s it up to pretty much brick mark. And Yang gets involved in the backfield, so more of a poachy defensive look here, but Carpenter sneaks through the middle. Yang, with disc in hand, wants to look long because who else but Whitlock in the space. And he goes over the top of Hamilton. Nicholas Whitlock ascends the Southern Skies.
Oh, that's bad. No. Come on, man. Whitlock has no right to get to that. But can't teach tall at the end of the day. And Hamilton's not done much wrong there. He got to the spot, got his hands up. And then Whitlock has just come in and made a humongous play over the top.
I don't know how he got there. Hamilton, I thought he had all the space. You see this play evolve, like Yang's just waiting for that strike cut from that handler space. As you said, Hamilton in a great spot, but somehow Whitlock just reaches over with the go-go gadget arms.
Can't teach tall at the end of the day. And, I mean, one is just... He's not made the throw that he needed to make. It needed to come near side. It needed to be flatter. He's just hung it up there. And well, at the end of the day, Whitlock is very tall. So Hamilton giving up a bit of height to the Kiwi.
I mean, height and also the read, right? Like the fact that Nick Whitlock could read the disc and also not make contact as he caught it. Like that is just mighty impressive. Not just the height, but the body control. And Janacek up with the pull for Southern Skies. Received by Lochnan. Up to Valancourt. Defenders still not quite set yet. Lee. Not a lot of movement upfield. Engages the handler. Upline strike in the field cut. Chung now. Lochnan working hard to create that strike cut. instead opts for low. Andrews goes a big huck across to the fat side, and easy as you like. Goal for Cat Phillips.
Hard to stop that. Andrews just reaching out with a very, very long crossfield throw. And it's, I think it's an indication that Skies need to be a little bit more aware of those throws that are kind of come back across the grain. Maybe they need to be a little bit tighter on the mark to take some of that away. And then again, it's big-time players making big-time plays. Perhaps limited what you can do tactically. As Rob Andrews to Cat Phillips is, well, it's a play that's worked at every level, including World Games. To stop it here at Mixed Nats is going to be a tough ask. But that is the problem that you've got to solve if you're Southern Skies. You need to find a way to match up and to do something about the firepower that Half Moon bring to the field.
And the pool rolls out the back. Makes McDonald have to run a few extra meters there. And electing for a side stack setup again, Southern Skies. So wanting to isolate a specific player. Looks like it's going to be Bub on this occasion.
As it rolled out the back, McDonald will bring it in from the front of the end zone.
A little shimmy there by McDonald. Goes the easy open shot to Carpenter. A nice high release backhand to float it to Whitlock. Ooh, very low shot, gets under it. Merowitz, McMahon. McDonald still with the disc. And nice spot up of Carpenter through the holes. Day now. Carpenter working it through. So good movement. Day finding some nice spots and a beautiful pass to Bub. That was too easy for the Southern Skies, making very short work of the Half Moon zone.
I think it's interesting. Rhea Carpenter actually a little bit too fast. When she's working in that zone, she's punting very, very hard across the face, and I think she just needs to realise that she's too quick. Slow down. Like, this is the spot where you want to be. You want to be in the zone, but she's arriving there too fast. I think she just slows that down a little bit more. She's having a really big impact on this game, and her getting to that spot is what Southern Skies want. They want her with the Frisbee in the cup, picking it apart, making those throws. Just needs to, actually slow down, which is weird to say because normally we're trying to encourage players to speed up, go faster, play with tempo, hit it quickly. In this case, though, in the zone, getting there too quickly actually means you run into the other point of the zone. So by being a little bit slower, you actually end up still in the cup.
Yeah, and also sometimes the person with the disc is actually not yet ready to throw it to you when you're in that space. So you need to give them time to actually control the disc after they've caught it and then be in the space when they're ready to throw. So an interesting shape, an inside out by Yang, floats it all the way out of fields and then curves back inbound. So I like that shape and look by Yang. But Ma now working with Lockman. Oh, and that's a D by Charles Patterson. Intercept. Short field by Southern Skies. Yang, disc in hand. Maintains possession to Patterson. And that is a move upfield to Gan. Patterson now. So just patiently waiting for it to open up. And that is Yang with the tippy toes. What a way to get their first break, the Southern Skies.
Well, that's huge. We needed that for the Southern Skies fan club and supporters. They needed that in a big way, and that's come at a really nice time halfway through this first half. So we've got plenty of minutes to play before we do go to the break.
Just want to credit that point to Levi Yang. Yes, he obviously scored the goal, but his pull, I loved that look. You know, it was the backhand inside out all the way outfield, then curved back inside. And look, oh, that was just amazing layout D there. Patterson read it so well, timed the jump to perfection, and then Gan to Yang. Names we haven't seen so much on the Australian scene, but certainly making their mark in the last couple of seasons with Sydney, New South Wales-based teams.
Normally we're calling the Alex Gan. This is Louis Gang. Great job for him. Janacek to pull for Southern Skies.
So Southern Skies, another defensive point here. You see Patterson on the line again, no surprises. Bringing the heat.
Patterson is just key part of that defensive plays. He knows what's coming from Loughnan. Loughnan very, very fast, loves to get up the line. And Patterson just knew what was coming.
Yeah, Hamilton, oh, that's a bit too zippy and too far in front for Prentice. So the D-line gets another bite here for Southern Skies. Merowitz McMahon. Oh, just looking at the open side. How did Livkar get away from Kat Phillips there? What a turnaround by the Southern Skies. 2 breaks on a trot after looking like they were slow on the pace early.
I mean, Livkar and Kat Phillips have played together for so long on ellipsis that know each other really well. And Livkar, one thing that she is known for is her work rate. It is elite. It's always been elite. And their work rate to the corner gets herself a goal. Southern Skies using all their players, getting everyone involved, and relatively straightforward at the end of the day. Open side cut and side score.
I mean, very impressive by the D-line these last 2 points. They've generated the possession and then haven't given it back. So the fact that they're just settling in and making good decisions, going a long way. And Patterson again for his 3rd point on the line straight. Bringing hopefully another opportunity as the pull goes up by Carpenter this time. Prentice working with Trong. And it's a zone look here by the Southern Skies. It's more of a containment zone, so they're allowing the handlers to work it through, just not letting them get too many meters downfield.
They've transitioned now to straight match.
Yeah, you can hear the calls of look and then find. Oh, and squeezes it. Not enough air there for Weatherall. So the D-line for Southern Skies getting to work, riding this momentum. And the 2 Kiwis, Whitlock and Patterson combine. And Wang now getting around. Whitlock makes magic happen. Can this... A high shot goes up to Mace. Patterson in the backfield. So maintaining composure, maintaining possession for the moment, Southern Skies.
They're too deep at the moment. They're spread out down the field. They're not giving the throwers any room to throw into. They're clearly trying to work some sort of isolation.
Yeah, the execution just not quite there. I agree. They've just set up too deep, which makes it really obvious to the defense that they're going to go for an undershot. But it means that they don't have the, I guess, the deep space to threaten. Hence, it's quite saying, oh, but now sneaks it. There's too much air under that throw. Mace is beaten by Prentice in the air.
Huge block by Alexander Prentice.
Loughnan Looks off the first cut, goes the second to Foreman. Trong now on the open side. They're squeezing it through a very narrow channel. Lochnan, oh, how did she get so free in the end zone? Jamie Valancourt on the board here in this game. And just as the Southern Skies D-line was looking likely to convert another break, Half Moon peg it back.
A hold in the end, and Lochnan just identifying that Jamie Valancourt had enough space to come back to the turnover. It was coming as the offense had just lost all momentum. It seemed like they were trying to work some sort of isolation, field runner kind of dominator, but it just didn't happen.
I just think the downfield cutters didn't adjust as the disc was moving. So when it was moving side to side or like backwards a little bit, they weren't readjusting their starting position. You need to have threats, be able to attack multiple spaces. And if you're making it too obvious that you're attacking that under middle of the field, it's way too easy for the defense. So they just need to get their setup a bit better as the disc changes angle. And if they can do that, then they really stand a chance here. It is level at the moment, on hold. So Andrews, this one's a quick pull, well stopped, requiring both Janacek and Whitlock to get mitts on it. And Andrews, Whitlock goes a long option, Day in the space, over the head of Summers. All he can do is look at the sky and say, oh well, Day's job is done.
You ask, what does Nick Whitlock bring? And it's more a question of what doesn't he bring. We saw earlier he dropped the hammer on a massive athletic play over the top of Will Hamilton, and now he just laces out perfectly weighted backhand huck over Tiernan Summers, who's no mug when it comes to playing defense, especially down the field on those big throws. Quality, all kinds of quality, and bringing us now to 6-all. It's been a topsy-turvy game where Half Moon had the ascendancy with 2 breaks early. Southern Skies had 2 breaks, and now they're traded the last 2 points. It's all there to play for at the moment. I'm not sure what. Given that this game is being played at a high level, there's nothing obvious. There's nothing just, that you absolutely say, oh, that's the answer. That's what they need to do. It's at the moment, it's very, very small stuff that seems to be the difference.
Yeah, when you're playing at this elite level, the difference between teams, the margin is just so small, Daniel. And another fantastic pull here by Yang that is blading into the grass, but Andrew's confident enough to grab it, and confidence for Chung as well. Just go up with a casual one-hander. Moves it up to Foreman, who goes a long option. Why not when you've got Dotley in the space? She chases it down. Easy as you like there. So Half Moon says, you can do it. We can do the same, but better.
Dotley just supreme experience as a receiver there. As the huck goes up, you'll notice, and if you're wondering, how do I score more goals? Watch this. As the throw goes up, she doesn't stop running. She keeps going. She sights the disc, gets it, and then just goes and tracks it down. Highly successful, and mostly because of that effort that she kept putting in as the disc was in the air. She never slowed more than, you would say, half a step, if that. Was running full speed, tracks the disc down. I think there's got to be a wrinkle, right? I don't think you continue in absolutely the same vein. I think you bring something defensively, something a bit junky, a little bit transition-y. Try and knock Southern Skies off their game, and just be aware of what Whitlock is going to do.
Yeah, although I think the last time we saw Half Moon put on a zone, the Southern Skies ripped through it very quickly through Day and Carpenter. So maybe they're a bit wary that perhaps they're sticking with the match and just applying some more physical pressure close you know, body work on the one-on-one matchup, so hoping that pressure will add plenty of contact on that one, but Carpenter rides the bump.
This is just a brutal matchup for Summers as Whitlock in the handler space.
Yeah, Whitlock now on the doorstep. Oh, that was too easy to Fisher Day. He says plenty of sunlight in that channel. Thanks very much. And Whitlock today, I've got the chemistry going. So 7-all offense. Very smooth, the last little patch of play. See if there's some defensive strategy applied to these next couple of points to make some inroads. But Galaxy point it is to take us. Half is at 8. So it'll be one of these teams.
I'm just coming back to what I was saying about be aware of what Whitlock is going to do. I think part of why this is hard for Half Moon at the moment is Raya Carpenter. Because sure, you could bring some extra stuff against Whitlock, but at the moment, Carpenter, I think, is what's unlocking Whitlock's game. Because Whitlock is using Carpenter as that give-go movement, and that's what's brutal on someone like Summers, who's all of a sudden, it's not just guard one pass, it's guard about 5 or 6 in the space of about 8 seconds, which for a big unit like Summers, hard, man.
Yeah, it's so interesting because, as you say, like, you need those steadying handlers, the ones that will just distribute well, make good choices. They're not necessarily aggressive on their throws, but they're just steady to enable those attacking throws that Whitlock does.
Without Carpenter, Whitlock's just this tall, gawky dude. But, you know, she's on the field, and he's, like, so much better.
Yeah. So, Chen, Trong. So, Southern Skies have applied a zone. There's 3 in that front wall. It's a 3-3-1. Whitlock hanging out the back to deter those long options. So, Hamilton and Trong now in the backfield, but they've collapsed to a match, it seems. And they've got to work out their matchups. There's a pick called downfield, and they can talk it out. So both Patterson and Whitlock on this line for the Southern Skies. They want to get this D and Galaxy point done. Trong and Hamilton have other ideas across to Foreman. Making Whitlock move. And tight match defense on Hamilton. Oh, and Carr's presence just enough to cause the turnover. Tarn running out of space on the sideline.
Whitlock going to go fast here.
He ran to the disc, but the receiver was already too far away. But Carr now works it hard under on the doorstep now. Oh, there's a fair bit of contact. And just checking in if there was a call, but say fair play.
Alex Swan pulled out of the cut, and Carr thought he was still going for it, made the throw. It's going to give it back to Half Moon.
Very fair-minded of Alex Swan to say no, I had pulled out of that one. It was just a miscommunication despite the contact. So Whitlock on Foreman. Foreman rips a long backhand looking for Weatherall. She was blindsided, did not know the disc was coming, was floating just above her head. So hard to track those ones down. And this Galaxy point turning out to be a bit of a wrangle.
It's a slog, but it's there to play for, so you can find a way.
So interesting split stack approach. Patterson looking for Swan, and Swan lays but does not come up with the disc.
It was always long, and Swan just hasn't read it out of the hand.
Hamilton pushes it wide to Foreman. Sees Trong in the underspace. Back to Foreman. Up to Weatherall. She's on the close sideline now. Hamilton in the underspace. And Weatherall goes up line. They're just squeezing it through on this open side. Now goes around to Valancourt. And Trong. And a quick, oh, and a fantastic layout deep by Carpenter. Sorry, that is Mace. What a way to save the score.
Incredible by Holly Mace. She's on the spot. And then she's done all the hard work, and then she does the easy thing, just gets horizontal.
Just a reflexive put, and Whitlock puts up a huge flick huck, looking for his mate in Patterson, and the Southern Skies get Galaxy point.
I mean, he's just thrown that off a step, forehand. It's gone 75 yards. I mean, Bill Foreman is just kind of looking down the field. Poor Trung has got his hands on his hips. What a flick huck by Nick Whitlock. Ask, what does he bring? He brings a cannon. I don't know how he got it into the country. Normally they stop firearms at customs, but he snuck that one through. And I mean, Charles Patterson knows all about it.
Oh, just this last gasp defensive effort by Holly Mace there. Multi-turnover point. Both teams wanting to get their chins in front. Full field flick huck. Charles Patterson did not break stride. And what an incredible way to end this first half. Make sure you stay tuned.
I mean, before we break, I want to come back to the throw by Whitlock, because Mike Trung hasn't done too much wrong there. He's seen Charles Patterson go, and he's thought, there's no way. There's no way he's going to get that. And Whitlock and Patterson have known and thought different. And I think there's some confusion about the score.
Yeah, I think they've kept track of it incorrectly. So we are correct.
Yes.
That's one on the board for ULTI.TV after a loss earlier on the score tracker. But as we said, a very exciting way to finish the first half. Southern Skies ruling the roost at the moment. They go up 8-7 on Half Moon. back for the second half in this pool play match. Half Moon versus Southern Skies. Southern Skies getting one on top after going down a couple of breaks early, certainly having the momentum and ascendancy towards the latter part. And Half Moon, the champions that they are, we will expect a fight back here in the second half. As we know, a star-studded roster, plenty of national representation across both sides. Conditions here, still overcast today, a little bit of wind, but it seems to have dried up. So the offensive completions, very high percentage rate at the moment.
And it continues to be nice weather for Ultimate Frisbee U. As much as people might say mean things about Queensland, it does have brilliant weather. And today it's not too humid, it's not too hot, and it's not too sunny either, which is nice. There's some blue clouds peeking out, some blue sky peeking out from behind the clouds over beyond. Well, let's get this second half underway, Avril. This could really go either way.
Yeah, for sure. I'm on the edge of my seat here, and Half Moon have brought out a zone defense. Oh, and Loughnane snatches it out of the hands. Oh, but Whitlock does the same. There's going to be a chat about that. What a passage of play. Whitlock's calling the goal as a Callahan. No discussion. And also, it's a Callahan to Nick Whitlock.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So Loughnane gets the block, and then he throws.
Huh? So, okay. Right. I mean, that is one of the most unexpected Callahans I've ever seen. And, I mean, Nick Whitlock's doing it all himself right now. So I believe that takes us to 7-9.
Yeah, that's right. That's a hold by Southern Skies because Loughnane got the possession but then threw it straight back to Whitlock.
A gift.
So that was a three throw point.
Yeah. And on one of the throws, Whitlock got a block, an assist, and a goal. It's good. It's good.
It's very efficient on the stat board. Only Nick Whitlock could do that.
He's padding at the moment. There must be a betting market somewhere where he's...
All right, so Rob Andrews here. The high pull of his own, gets plenty of air underneath, but actually fades backwards a little and lands out of bounds. So it's going to be a brick mark taken by Merrimack McMahon.
No, I can't. Hold on. Half Moon have just pulled.
I'm so confused what's happened. So Loughnane scored? Loughnane scored O'Hanahan?
Loughnane must have scored a Callahan. Okay. We figured it. Now I understand why I was so confused. I was like, what? Hang on a minute. Someone's not at the right end here.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so Loughnane scored the Callahan. He didn't need to throw another throw, but he just threw it anyway. Yeah,
and then they looked down, I think, and noticed that the line Loughnane was standing over was actually the end zone line. So they've wound it all the way back to the original play.
Yeah, okay, so Nick Whitlock gets no block, no assist, and no goal, because that, wasn't...
Instead goes to Ollie Loughnane.
Yeah, it's already a dead play after Loughnane catches the score. Okay. We've waken up after our post-lunch snooze now, and we've got it figured out. Thanks for your patience, guys, on the stream. Daniel and I here still working things through on day one here at the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 1. But at least the players know what they're doing, so that's
just
good.
How it played out. Like, Loughnane played on.
Yeah.
And then Whitlock got the block, and then Whitlock had the disc, and then...
Signalled a goal, yeah.
Signalled a goal.
But he was signalling Loughnane's goal, not his goal.
Yeah.
All right. So the score is 8-all. Or 8-9 now, because Southern Skies just scored a goal.
Yep.
And it is Half Moon on offense, so Summers to get things going here. They've got a horizontal set this time, so male matching players in the handler space and the female matching players downfield.
They're very, very deep at the moment, and they're very static. Phillips finally bailing them out.
Across to Andrews. He goes a big hug. Hamilton's got the space, but he's got 2 to beat in the end, and Patterson beats them all. Just outread Hamilton. So Southern Skies, the breeze now kicking up. Southern Skies having to work in a slight upwind direction. It's Gan now working with Patterson. Janacek cuts the open side, just bounces out of the hands. So easy let up there. And Phillips throws it. Was looking for Hamilton, but I think he turned around just as the disc came out of the hand. So very unfortunate for both sides. Southern Skies ending up with possession.
Turnovers galore. Again, making a good cut. And then the throw by Patterson.
It's a bit of a weird lull at the moment, Dan. After a lot of very exciting and high energy ultimate, seems like
someone needs to take control here of the game. They're just turning the Frisbee over. Yeah. Someone needs to stamp their authority and take control.
And Carr v. Phillips, but Phillips squeezes it to the corner there of the end zone. I don't think Carr did anything wrong at all. Just found enough space, and when you're asking for someone to take control, no better than Cat Phillips.
And that's who you look to, right? You look to one of your leaders, you look to one of your superstars, and Cat Phillips does exactly what was needed for Half Moon. Just makes the authoritative cut towards the end zone and leaves Rob Andrews with a relatively straightforward throw to make. And that brings us to 9-all by our calculation. Reserve the right to update and change that later, pending if an error gets revealed. This is an interesting situation, given what we're seeing out of Pool A, where it appears that, well, at least there's 3 quite evenly matched teams, in that Half Moon, they went to Universe Point against Manly earlier today, and now they're locked in a tussle with Southern Skies. Anyway, Eva Weatherall will pull and set Southern Skies on offense.
So they've got 4 back. Oh no, Mace pushes up. So starting a horizontal set here, isolating Owens. Pushes it up to the close sideline in Mace. And Whitlock. Oh, that was not how she wanted it to come out of the hands. And a couple of easy just throwaways on both sides. Lee up to Trong. Again, just wary of this slight upwind direction. Oh, somehow that just gets above the defender. That is heartbreak for McDonald. And Low with the goal.
Gus McDonald is in a good spot. He's gone to jump and he's just, I don't know if he hit a flat spot or what, because he didn't elevate. Snuck in for a score. Half Moon. So sometimes you make your own luck.
Yeah.
I thought the receiver was far too deep down the field there for Trong.
Yeah, but I don't know, that slight upwind direction meant the disc probably lifted or stayed higher for longer than the defender expected. And in the end, just making use of the wind to perfection does Half Moon. And coming into this game, so Half Moon, remember the first game on the stream, that was actually a loss. So they're coming into this game 0-1, whereas Southern Skies, I think they won over their game against Chile Chimichanga, so they're coming in 1-0. So some contrasting fortunes this morning for the 2 teams, but just shows how close this Pool A is.
I think there's a difference in ability with Chili Chimichanga
That was
struggling in their game this morning.
Yep. And Whitlock working with Merowitz McMahon. Whitlock starting to strike deep. And Merowitz, I don't know what throw that was, but Whitlock climbs the ladder. And an easy goal there by Levi Yang. Southern Skies, they can do no wrong.
Yeah, can't teach tall at the end of the day. Nick Whitlock again, despite having 2 defenders, one of which Bill Foreman, arriving and having good reads on the Frisbee. It's just brutal because Whitlock is really tall.
Was this a chicken wing? No, it's a hammer. Okay. So there's a hammer by Merowitz, but there's a lot of float on that one. And just overloading Whitlock, recognizing him as a huge threat. But in the end, he punishes both of them. And Yang left all alone in the end zone. So I think if Half Moon are going to try and push further in this game, they're going to have to find some way to shut down Whitlock.
Yeah, right now Half Moon have a GAC problem. We call it the GAC problem. It's like, how do you stop the really tall guy that has unbelievable throws? It's been an ongoing puzzle in Australian Ultimate. I could have sworn that one day time would catch up with the GAC, and, well, whilst it has somewhat, we've now got the Kiwi GAC, creating the same kind of issues for teams.
So, interestingly, Yang and now Whitlock have gone for some unorthodox shapes on their pools. This one was almost a vertical disc by Whitlock, intending for the disc to bounce and then roll out the back. So I guess wanting to try to pin Half Moon to the end zone, but also having time to set up their defensive structure.
Yeah, and I'll come back to that thought as bullying tactics have evolved over the years. Prentice to bring it in.
Yeah, Mace has drawn the matchup here. Ooh, squeezes it through to Maehr. And the dump set strongly defended, forcing the error. Patterson, Whitlock. Patterson again, no surprises there at all. That is Southern Skies with a break back to peg it to even, to peg it to holds. They go up 11-10.
Yeah, just pressing the advantage when they have their momentum, coming at it. Whitlock picks up the disc and immediately Charles Patterson heads to the end zone. I want to come back to the pool. Back in the day, we saw a lot of floaty pools, and the theory behind that was get the disc to float, give your defense time to run down. You'd normally have a hard run down, trying to stop that first pass. However, as teams have gotten better, and also through tournament play, which is often lengthy, you're potentially playing 3 games a day. Different kind of pools have come in, and you saw there the blading roller. Same effect, except you don't have to run down nearly as hard. And you just set your defense while they're bringing the disc back in. It gets you everything you want without necessarily the huge energy expenditure.
Of the sprint, of the rundown,
of the floater. We see Bill Foreman also using a similar kind of approach, rolling blady pools that are either really uncomfortable to catch and might create a turn through a drop, or they roll out the back in the end zone, and then the defense has to play from the front. The offense has to play from the front.
Yeah. And that was a slight downwind direction as well. So, having to put, I guess, a little bit less muscle, just using the wind to push it further as well. So Lochnan moves up to Andrews already, halfway downfield, and Cat Phillips on Liv Carr, but that one is too far in front, so Andrews not adjusting his throw to that downwind direction.
Seems that Rob Andrews is having some difficulty with depth at the moment on that backhand. He underthrew a couple early, he's overthrown a couple. It just seems like he's struggling to find that rhythm. Anticipate it will come as the tournament wears on. But at the moment, it's a real significant challenge for him. Another opportunity for Southern Skies on offense. They're up 11-10.
Yeah, I don't know about this kind of split stack look on the offense here.
Doesn't really give them much.
They do work it up though. Carr does well to keep her toes in. And you can see the defensive efforts, very tight match here. Do well, a slight inside channel available to Patterson. Janacek clears, opens up for Meritz McMahon for the fill. And there's a call downfield, so the handlers will have to stop play.
I'm not convinced about these horizontal sets. They seem... It seems like there could be some opportunities for the defense here if they could just identify what these horizontals are creating on the field. They might be able to force the offense into some high stall situations.
Mace has been very involved in the last few points of this game. Haven't seen Carpenter on field for a while, it feels. So have to keep an eye on that one. Patterson, the dependable access handler. That one is stolen by Lochnan. And Half Moon here, back in control. Phillips, a casual one-handed grab behind. Summer strolls across. Andrews makes an undercut, but he elects for the lateral to Phillips. Hits Summers, Phillips. Andrews now. There's an upline strike. There's a gender mismatch here. Lochnan to Andrews. Runs into Meritz McMahon, but it was too late there for the block. So Half Moon end up with the score.
Rob Andrews just taking over there. He has cut probably about 90 metres at full pace. Meritz McMahon has called a switch towards the end, but the switch is actually what's created the opportunity, because up till then, Meritz McMahon was doing a pretty good job covering Andrews. And then the switch, it pulled the defender off Ollie Lochnan, and then Lochnan got it, and then they were broken away for Andrews to cap it with the score. Lochnan has been in everything. 2 goals, 4 assists.
Yeah, Rob Andrews this time, just using the small ball. Can do it all, Rob Andrews. Not letting some of those throwaways deter him.
What a close game this is. Southern Skies with an opportunity to stretch a little bit of a lead. Nothing really to separate them. 4 breaks apiece after 11 attempts each. Here's Whitlock.
And the side stack looking better. They're isolating a play in the open side. Oh, that one's over the head, and Ruiz snaffles it up. Oh, pass Foreman, so Whitlock now intercepts. And Carpenter goes along option, searching for Barb. And that is a perfectly weighted hug over the head of Ruiz and Valancourt. And Southern Skies back on the board, 12-11.
Shannon Barb, it's like she doesn't age. She is just out there cutting like a maniac. And Carpenter has shown a little bit what we've been talking about, how, sure, Whitlock has been drawing a lot of attention, but I think Carpenter has been the secret sauce for Southern Skies on O today. Without Carpenter, I don't think we're having the same kind of spectacle, as she's just been immense for this team.
For sure, and I think we were talking about, I guess, more, we'll call it passive and active handlers, right? And saying that
sure.
Carpenter's been the more reliable, steady hand, distributed disc, not so much the attack, but showing that when the time is right, she will throw those aggressive shots, right?
Well, I think this is part of the game, right, where Carpenter's doing the right things. She's making exceptionally intelligent ultimate decisions, and recognizing there that she had an opportunity, and now all of a sudden it's something else for the Half Moon defense to worry about. Because, yeah, you've got a GAC-shaped problem in Nicholas Whitlock, but now you've also got another problem in Raya Carpenter.
And I have to say, very ably backed up. I think Barb and also Mace have also had some spectacular gameplay as well. So really team effort, I think, here by the Southern Skies. Different players standing up at different times to make sure they get the job done.
That is the secret to good mixed ultimate. It is how well do you involve everyone. And so far, I think Southern Skies have done an outstanding job. Oh, that's a hammer.
Oh, Liv Carr reads that one well, steps in front of Hamilton, half field, and Yang milks it for the extra meters. On the doorstep, 3 gun. Patterson, you know who's around when a D point is ready for the taking. Oh, squeezes it through to Liv Carr. Southern Skies with another break now to nudge ahead.
We've talked a lot about the handlers. I think it's time to talk about Liv Carr, who's just immense down the field. Incredible work rate. Has always been a standout part of her game. And again, work rate, finding herself in the spot. The throw for the score. Olivia Carr getting another score, her second of the day. Yes. Critical break, I think, in the context of the game, is now at 13-11. Only a couple more points to play.
Yeah, look, I think if Half Moon ended the day 0-2, that would be a very unexpected result, but it goes to show how tight it is at the top here. Don't count chickens before they hatch, though, because I'm sure they'll hatch some plans to come back into this game.
I mean, maybe they're sandbagging for seed, right? maybe there's someone that they like the look of from the other side of the draw that they feel like they want the
match up on, yeah.
It's I wouldn't put that on them.
No, but look, Whitlock, Patterson, Mace, all on this defensive point for Southern Skies. I think they're looking to get another break on the trot and finish this game early. Call it in for some cold ones after a good day's work. So Lochnan will pick up from the end zone. So again, that same pull tactic from Whitlock.
Interesting from Half Moon. They did nothing to counteract it. Normally you'll see the players kind of line up on this near side of the field as the disc would blade and come near side. They just kind of left it and content to play from a static situation.
So this time it looks like more of a 4-person cup, so they're overloading this space just in front. Half Moon doing well to sneak it through so far, and Trong doing a mountain of work here, throwing and going. Now uses low on the far side, spots up Foreman. Meritz McMahon, the big man on the mark, throws through. Oh, and a defensive attempt and an injury call. That was McDonald there with the hands and the block. I think it might be Swan actually who got the D there and caused an immediate injury.
Got tangled a little bit. Oh, just clipped actually on the way through. Weatherall making a bid. Oh, Whitlock's actually going to play it from in the end zone.
Yeah, interesting choice here.
Foreman's too far away to put the stall on.
Maybe that's a tactical move. Intelligence. Oh, and Whitlock goes a long option. This one to McDonald, too far in front. Again, that downwind direction, just pushing the disc further. So they're calling for a set. It looks like Southern Skies will again set up this 4-man cup. And look, why not? You got Nick Whitlock patrolling the deep space.
And a little bit of wind potentially to help.
Yep.
I think Whitlock just feeling like he needed to make a play there. I don't agree. I don't think he needs to. I think
just play steady.
Been a little bit steadier.
Yeah, when you got Nick Whitlock patrolling the deep space and Charles Patterson as your middle, it's going to prove very difficult to work through. So Lachlan on the other side now.
A dangerous player here is Mikey Trung. He's got a great understanding of zone offense. So I think if, Patterson there, he needs to just be aware of it and know where the outlet is. He needs to know that it's going to be Trung or maybe even Lofnan, but Trung is probably the dangerous man here.
Yeah, he did really well on the previous offensive possession to move that disc up through that chain. Like I say, the danger man to make it work through this zone. But I like Marowitz-McMahon as well, the long limbs and the big frame. A fair amount to try to get around.
Half Moon, they need to involve Uni Chung here.
So Chung, lots of faking, ekes it through to Lee. But certainly the Half Moon possession's not looking very convincing at the moment.
This is better as Dot Lee and Eunice Chung get involved. Half Moon are going to have more success here.
Yeah, they're going to need to rotate. Oh, and that's a hammer that falls, but Trong good enough to collect. They're trapping it to this close sideline now, so very little space to work with. And having to go all the way backwards, a diving save by Low. Trong, Low.
Marowitz-McMahon is uncomfortable on the mark here. He's allowing that disc to go back to the middle, and he's just having to do sprints now from the side to side. He needs to hold the disc on one side. Oh, huge by Gus McDonald! What a play by Gussie!
A big shot, Marowitz-McMahon. Target Whitlock too far out the side, so a couple of opportunities, just rush of blood to the head. Southern Skies have worked so hard to get that D, and then they just throw it away. One shot.
Now Half Moon are in a broken field situation. If they can get the disc moving here, they're going to get a lot of meters before Southern Skies can get their defense set.
Yeah, there's confusion about what they're doing on defense. I think they're eventually saying, okay, let's just go for a match, but I don't think all the players are on the same page. Now they finally get a zone look, so I don't know what's going on, but Half Moon are making short work of the confusion. And
Looks
Chung, Lachlan.
They're sticking with the zone, but they've done a poor job switching. They're unsure of their assignments right now, as Whitlock now is finally switching with McMahon. Seems like they're going to get it settled with this call.
Yeah, it's a very short field now. Half Moon, surely they have the composure to slot it in, but the wind just gusting up. So if they can get these throws off, and that is a score from Bill Foreman to Dot Lee. And Half Moon, they do hold to keep in touch, 12-13. And geez, those were a couple of opportunities gone begging for Southern Skies to really stamp out this game.
Yeah, they've only got themselves to blame, really. A series of turnover hucks that they didn't need to throw. It was too much, too soon. They just needed to recycle the disc a bit and get a better look, because right now they're forcing it a very hard throw. They're trying to go across the field into not much of a window. The problem is either they need the receiver to be closer to them in terms of further away from the sideline to give space to throw into, or the receiver also probably needs to be shorter as well, because the receivers, they're a long way to this near sideline and they're a long way down the field, and so they're trying to fit in these throws that are outside in, around the edge, and it's just like, it's going OB.
Yeah, they're just not setting up the cut, right? They're already in the space that they want to be in when they catch the disc. They need to be in the space before they get there. And I have to say, this has come up a couple of times already in this game for the Southern Skies. Their offensive setup, spacing isn't quite right. And if they can make those adjustments, they're going to make life much easier for themselves. But Half Moon, they don't need to be asked twice. I'm sure that they're going to stick this opportunity. See Prentice, Catfield, Rob Andrews, Summers, all on the line here. And Ruiz, very strong defensive lineup.
And Southern Skies are going to have to work into the teeth of a building breeze. it's a bit blustery, so it's going to make things difficult heading in this direction.
Yang working together with Whitlock. Very small spaces in the 4-person cup.
I think both teams feeling like the weather is changing and they've made adjustments to go to a zone.
Yeah, I think the throwers certainly deterred from throwing those over-top throws that we saw earlier in this game, knowing that the wind's going to pick it up and give the defenders a bigger chance to get involved. So Janacek with Whitlock now. So quite a... Just moving it side to side. So Carpenter, Janacek, Whitlock and Yang all in the backfield. So you see Day pointing and trying to keep Andrews accountable. I like that, you know, using your wing offense to make the defense move. That opens up so much space closer to the disc. Owens, Janacek, Whitlock.
Whitlock just lifting his eyes there, and it did enough. Oh, there's a turn.
Lifting enough for Ruiz to intercept Half Moon. Oh, that one through the hands of Hamilton. Another chance here. Again, as you said, working in this slightly more tricky upwind direction. Day comes all the way back now to support in the cup. So you can see all the throwers trying to keep their release points nice and low to avoid the pop-up of the disc in that upwind.
Some interesting things happening actually with the handler movement at the moment. Sometimes when you catch that Frisbee, the way to go is actually towards the defense instead of trying to come away. Sometimes you're trying to pivot away and get an angle around the edge. Sometimes actually the movement is to catch and move up into the cup and put pressure on the cup, moving towards them, and then trying to maybe throw a pass through. At worst, though, they back up.
Yeah, so that's right. Because you've kind of got the defense on the back foot if you're moving towards them, right? And you get them off balance.
You see this movement here as Fisher Day's coming this way. If he reverses there and goes up the field, he drives the defense backwards, and he can maybe create more angles.
And they work their way up well, and a score to Janacek, assist by Day. And Southern Skies, they move up to game point. That is 14-12. Half Moon looking down a barrel to go to 0-2 potentially.
Warm up.
Just lull them into a false sense of security and then get them when it counts.
Well, McGuckin not suited up. It just seems like Half Moon at the moment.
Half pace?
Well, they're half chemistry. Like, it's not quite there yet. I get the feeling, right, that this is going to be a very, very dangerous team because people are going to look at the scores and go, oh, maybe they're not as good. But I think what we're seeing is that building chemistry between this Half Moon team, and they're going to be a different team tomorrow, and they're going to be a radically different team on Sunday, I feel, at the moment, because there's too much class out there, there's too much quality, and as they start to not only practice their own things, but have things thrown at them and start to try and puzzle that out, yeah, I think that there's a lot to play for yet. And I think Southern Skies, on their side, not to take anything away from them, they've done a great job having really nice chemistry, being here, being strong, and not just relying on, say, one or two players. You know, it's been a team effort, very much so for them, and a very cohesive team effort.
Yeah, for sure. It makes for a very exciting way to end day one, whatever the result is. And we are here all weekend, Friday through to Sunday, hosted here by the City of Logan and the Beanley Multi-Sports Association. Some beautiful fields here in Beanley. As you said, very nice conditions for ultimate, nice and cool. And the big shot goes up, Prentice to Foreman, and Patterson gets up top, but Foreman comes up trumps.
Huge by Bill Foreman, they needed that. And hell of a play Foreman has always had that quality about his game. He's always been a supreme athlete. And perhaps we don't see it as much because, I don't know, for whatever reason, he doesn't seem to need to make those humongous plays. But they needed that, and to bring it to 14-13, that's really important for Half Moon, who the equation is simple. You've got to score the next 2 to win.
And I mean, it is the slightly more difficult task. Southern Skies having to work the upwind direction. Their offensive points haven't been as smooth in this direction or as easy per se. And can they maintain the mindset, the consistency to close this one out? Rob Andrews, I'm sure he'll have some pulling tactics of his own going this way. You see Truong, Foreman, Hamilton on the line.
When you've got as big a throw as Rob Andrews has, it's easy to get this wrong, actually. So he needs to get this Frisbee down. He needs to get it in bounds, and he can't overthrow it. He needs to not give them a brick here. If he can do it, if he can pull well here, you fancy Half Moon with this breeze that's blustery from the left.
And so he goes quite a flat shot, actually, but it blades. But McMahon does very well to stop that one. Moves it immediately upfield to Carpenter. So they're already out of the end zone. Carpenter spies Dave through the hole, hits him on Owens. A high grab, so showing they've got no problems getting some of these lofty ones. Finds McDonald through the hole and throws Merowitz McMahon forward into space. Carpenter. Lots of fakes. Merowitz McMahon in support. So this 4-person cup, everyone's just hanging out the side, relying on their throwing skills to work it through. Oh, and Carpenter almost cops Owen on the face. McDonald, oh, goes a beautiful forehand outside in cross field to Nicholas Whitlock. And the Southern Skies win the game 15-13 on Half Moon.
Only time Whitlock catches the disc in that point, and it's to score and to cap the game. Apart from that, it was everyone else getting involved and doing all the things. Wow, what a result for Southern Skies to come out here and ambush Half Moon, the top seeds for Pool A. They're going to be happy with that, ending the day 2-0. As we head into day 2 for this Pool A. And a great team effort, I thought, by Southern Skies here.
Yeah, very, very impressive. As you said, they had stars in Whitlock and Patterson, Carpenter and Mace, but, you know, Barb popping up, Day, Merowitz, McMahon, Liv Carr. Look, everyone contributed hugely to this team win. And like I said, we're very pleased with this result. Finishing day 1 on a high, 2-0. And Half Moon, I think if you said that they'd be down 0-2, there'd be some surprises and some eyebrows raised. But as you said, plenty of ultimates still left to play. We still have last game on the field at 3 o'clock local time. So that's in about half an hour. Make sure you stay tuned to the ULTI.TV YouTube channel for more action from the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 1.
ULTI.TV.